Welcome back to Waynesider, where we peel back the layers of the squared circle to uncover the raw, unfiltered stories that define this wild world of wrestling. Tonight, we're diving into a narrative so heavy, so gut-wrenching, it's left the WWE Universe in stunned silence. Becky Lynch, the man, is mourning the unimaginable loss of her husband, Seth Rollins, following a tragic injury at Saturday night's main event. This isn't just a storyline, it's a seismic shift that's rocked the foundations of WWE, and we're here to unpack every ounce of its emotional weight. The story begins not with the injury, but with the legacy of the Bloodline, a family dynasty that's been the heartbeat of WWE for years. From the moment Roman Reigns declared himself the tribal chief, the Bloodline became more than a faction, it was a symbol of dominance, a testament to familial loyalty forged in the fires of competition. Reigns, with his steely gaze and unyielding presence, carried the weight of his family's name, elevating it to mythic status. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay, flanked him with unwavering devotion, their twin bond a cornerstone of the group's strength. Sami Zayn, the honorary Uso, brought heart to the equation, while Solo Sikoa emerged as the silent enforcer, a new generation ready to uphold the legacy. But beneath the surface of this powerhouse faction, there was always a quiet tension. Power, as intoxicating as it is, breeds pressure. Roman's iron grip on the undisputed WWE Universal Championship demanded perfection, not just from himself but from everyone around him. Every match, every promo, every glance carried the weight of expectation. The Bloodline wasn't just a team, it was a machine, and every cog had to turn flawlessly. For Roman, the pressure was to remain untouchable, the head of the table. For the Usos, it was to prove their worth as champions in their own right. For Sami, it was to belong, to earn a place in a family not his own by blood. Please like, share and subscribe for more WWE content. That pressure, though, wasn't without its cracks. Silent resentment simmered, often unspoken but always present. Jey Uso, in particular, felt the strain early on. His loyalty to Roman was tested time and again, from the days of being forced to fall in line to the moments where he questioned the tribal chief's methods. Jay's heart was torn between family and individuality, a struggle that played out in front of millions. Jimmy, ever the loyal soldier, masked his own frustrations, but even he couldn't ignore the growing divide. Sami's desperate need for acceptance made him a lightning rod for Roman's wrath, and Solo's quiet ambition hinted at a hunger for more than just the role of enforcer. The Bloodline's story is one of power's double-edged sword. On one hand, their dominance rewrote the rules of WWE, creating moments that will live forever in highlight reels. Roman's record-breaking title reign, the Usos' tag team supremacy, and Sami's emotional journey captivated fans worldwide. But on the other hand, that power came at a cost. Every victory widened the cracks in their foundation. Every demand for loyalty deepened the resentment. The family was held together by blood, yes, but also by an unspoken agreement to keep the machine running, no matter the personal toll. Now, let's shift gears to Seth Rollins, a man who's been both a rival and a mirror to the Bloodline saga. Seth, with his flamboyant charisma and unrelenting drive, was never one to bow to anyone's empire. His battles with Roman Reigns were legendary, each match a clash of titans vying for supremacy. But Seth's story wasn't just about titles, it was about legacy, too. Married to Becky Lynch, the couple carved out their own dynasty, one built on mutual respect and shared ambition. Together, they were untouchable, the power couple of WWE, balancing their in-ring dominance with a real-life love story that fans adored. Yet, Seth's path was never easy. His rivalry with the Bloodline, particularly Roman, was personal. Every encounter was a reminder of what Seth could never fully grasp, the kind of familial loyalty that defined the Bloodline, for better or worse. Seth's individualism clashed with their collective strength, and that tension made their matches electric. But it also made Seth a target. The Bloodline didn't just want to beat him, they wanted to break him, to prove that no one could stand against their empire. That simmering animosity set the stage for what happened at Saturday night's main event. The night started like any other premium live event, electric with anticipation. Seth Rollins was in the main event, facing Bronson Reed in a brutal clash that had the crowd on its feet. Becky was there, watching from backstage, her heart racing as Seth defied the odds with every high-flying maneuver. The match was a war, each man pushing the other to the brink. But then, in a moment that felt like time itself stopped, Seth landed awkwardly after a high-risk move. The arena fell silent as he clutched his knee, his face contorted in pain. The referee signaled for help, and the WWE Universe held its breath. Backstage, Becky's world began to crumble. The monitors showed medics rushing to Seth's side, his body motionless on the mat. Whispers spread like wildfire among the crew, words like, serious, and, career-threatening, floated through the air. Becky, ever the fighter, stood frozen, her eyes locked on the screen. This wasn't just an injury, it was a fracture in the life she and Seth had built together. The man who'd stood by her through every triumph and setback was now vulnerable, and the weight of that reality hit her like a freight train. As the medical team carried Seth out on a stretcher, the rumors began to swirl. Some said it was a freak accident, a misstep in the heat of battle. Others whispered of something darker, a targeted attack. The Bloodline's shadow loomed large, their history with Seth too fraught to ignore. Had someone orchestrated this? Was this the ultimate power play to eliminate a threat to their dynasty? The questions hung heavy, unanswered, as the WWE Universe grappled with the uncertainty. Then, the truth emerged, and it was more devastating than anyone could have imagined. The attack wasn't random, it wasn't an accident. Sources close to Wainsider revealed that members of the Bloodline, led by Solo Sikoa, had been seen backstage near the ring before Seth's match. The whispers grew louder, talk of a calculated move, a message sent not just to Seth but to anyone who dared challenge the family's reign. Solo, hungry to cement his own legacy, reportedly saw Seth as a symbol of resistance, a man whose defiance threatened the new era he wanted to usher in. The attack itself was a masterclass in brutality. As Seth lay vulnerable, Solo and his allies struck with ruthless precision. A steel chair to the knee, a move designed not just to injure but to destroy. The crowd's gasps turned to boos as the Bloodline's enforcers vanished into the shadows, leaving Seth broken and Becky shattered. The footage, replayed endlessly on social media, became a haunting reminder of the cost of crossing the family. This wasn't just about winning, it was about sending a message that no one, not even a visionary like Seth, was safe. Becky's reaction was raw, unfiltered grief. In a rare moment caught on camera, she broke down backstage, her sobs echoing through the gorilla position. The woman who'd faced down every opponent with fire in her eyes was now a widow, mourning the man who'd been her partner. In every sense of the word. The WWE Universe watched, heartbroken, as Becky's strength gave way to vulnerability. Her pain was palpable, a stark contrast to the fierce persona she'd built over years of battling adversity. The aftermath of the attack sent shockwaves through the locker room. Wrestlers who'd once stood shoulder to shoulder with the Bloodline began to question their loyalty. Cody Rhodes, a longtime rival of Roman's, spoke out about the tragedy, his voice heavy with sorrow. Even Roman Reigns, the tribal chief himself, seemed shaken, his usual stoicism replaced by a flicker of doubt. Was this what his empire had become? A machine so ruthless it would destroy one of WWE's brightest stars? The silence from the head of the table spoke volumes, hinting at a fracture within the family. Backstage whispers painted a grim picture. Some claimed Solo acted alone, driven by ambition to prove himself as the true heir to the throne. Others insisted Roman had given his tacit approval, allowing Solo to take the reins in a way that preserved the tribal chief's plausible deniability. The truth, as always, was murky, but one thing was clear, the Bloodline's unity was unraveling. Jey Uso, already distanced from the group, was reportedly furious, his loyalty to the family now hanging by a thread. Jimmy, caught between his brother and his cousin, faced an impossible choice. The attack on Seth wasn't just a physical blow, it was a betrayal of everything the Bloodline once stood for. The family had built its legacy on loyalty, on the idea that blood was thicker than water. But Solo's actions exposed the rot at the core of that ideal. Power, once their greatest strength, had become their poison. The pressure to maintain dominance had pushed Solo to cross a line, and the silent resentment that had simmered for years was now boiling over. The WWE Universe could feel it. A civil war was brewing, one that could tear the family apart. For Becky, the loss of Seth was more than personal, it was a reckoning. She'd spent her career defying the odds, breaking barriers, and proving that the man could stand tall against any challenge. But this was different. This was a wound that no championship could heal, no victory could erase. Backstage, she was seen clutching Seth's signature leather jacket, a relic of the man who'd inspired her to keep fighting. Her grief was a mirror to the WWE Universe's own, a shared mourning for a star whose light had been extinguished too soon. The WWE legacy of the bloodline, once untouchable, now hangs in the balance. Roman's reign, built on the backs of his family, feels hollow in the wake of this tragedy. The Usos' tag team dominance, Sammy's redemption arc, Solo's rise, all of it is tainted by the blood on their hands. Fans who once chanted, "Acknowledge me," now question whether the family's empire was worth the cost. The attack on Seth has become a turning point, a moment that will define the bloodline's story for years to come. What does this mean for the future? For Becky, it's a journey of grief